I did not expect to be making a Halloween TV series update video today, but we have an update slash a rumor that's kind of come out right now about the upcoming, or hopefully upcoming anyway, Miramax Halloween TV series. Now this is a rumor that, from what I've seen, there's a quote from Horror's Hallowed Grounds Sean Clark. That is a tongue twister. I just failed saying that like 3 times. But he says, very simply, I don't think it's going to involve Myers. I think it's only going to be Halloween related. I heard it wouldn't be Myers. The response that I've seen from this has been pretty half and half, which it usually is when, you know, there's any kind of rumbling that there's a Halloween project without Michael Myers or something like that. And that is that some people are just okay with it, and other people are very much on the hill of, if Michael's not in it, I don't want to watch it. Which, to be honest with you, I understand both points of view. I kind of sit somewhere in the middle, in that I love the Halloween franchise that much that anything that kind of comes out, I'm going to watch. And I think that's in the boat a lot of us are in, actually, in a sense of like, yeah, would I rather Michael be in it? Absolutely, of course. He is the main reason that I like the Halloween franchise. However, if we're making a series, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a minute, where you've got that Halloween world, but it might be a prequel. If they can make a prequel that makes sense, I don't mind it necessarily. If it maybe sets up a film then in, I mean, we're talking years, realistically. We did just get a trilogy. But yeah, this TV series that has been getting worked on now has had basically little to no update. And there was a point last year where a lot of people just started saying they doubt that it's even going to happen, or, you know, it's in jeopardy. And yeah, with that, I don't think it's necessarily a major shock right now that we've had some form of rumour, if you want to call it that Michael isn't going to be in the project. Because if we go all the way back to when we were first hearing about this project, the prediction forward slash basically what was said in some sense is that this might follow a young Dr. Loomis, potentially ending, and this is just a bit that I think, I don't know if this was ever said, but the series could potentially end with his first encounter with a young Michael Myers, which would kind of make sense of to where to leave that story off. And the creators of the project, what they did say, and literally in the same quote, I'm paraphrasing here, but what they said is that they have always wondered about the life of Dr. Loomis before Michael, and then going on to also say that the pilot episode was 90% written. That's interesting, because if you're expressing your keenness to go at that, and the pilot's 90% written, and that's what you're interested in, the likelihood is we're going down a route of a Haddonfield probably before Michael was even born, realistically. I imagine this is going to be a young Dr. Loomis. Obviously, things can change, anything can happen, but I feel like that is the route we're probably going to be taking for this, which, if I explain some things to you now, I don't think the fans that are panicking, it might not sound as bad, because I've heard a lot of people say that we're going to be going down a Halloween 3 route, which, again, I think everyone's kind of in the same boat of Halloween 3 is a good film, separated from, obviously, the Michael Myers films. But I think if you're going to do that again, it doesn't need to be labelled a Halloween film, in my opinion. Just go off and do your own anthology series. I think this is going to be different, and not what I expected, which was either a complete kind of reboot series where we go back to, like, the build-up, I guess, of 1978, and then I assume the climax to be 1978, or even if it was set kind of around the 1980s, so it's still a relatively, or well, a young Michael Myers. But obviously he's kind of had his first night out. That sounds like he went fucking clubbing. But I don't mind a Loomis prequel. It could give us a new Loomis as well, which Donald Pleasance, his shoes are never going to get filled. I think we all know as Halloween fans that Donald Pleasance is forever the Dr. Loomis. But at the same time, if those fans also want, you know, new movies, new series, I understand some of you guys don't, and that's completely fair enough. I'm not grouping you guys in this category, but we are going to have new characters, and if we're bringing in Loomis again, obviously we can't have Donald Pleasance again, so it could be nice to give us a new Loomis that we spend a bit of time with, that by the time we then get to the end of the series and a film is set up, or maybe a series too. I personally would prefer, if it's something to do with Michael Myers, I think it belongs on the big screen in a theatrical release. So for me, if that series sets up a film in which we know Dr. Loomis so much better now that his dynamic with Michael in the reboot film, essentially, it could be so much more interesting and actually a kind of new take when you really just look at Michael and Loomis's relationship and kind of obviously how it spirals out of control. I think them saying that they're taking it back to the original, which was another thing that kind of got said. You know, the creators were very much, we want to take this back to its original form, or however they said it. I think a lot of people, including me, immediately went, okay, we're getting a 1978 reboot, basically, where they're going to just maybe get rid of Laurie Strode, everything like that, and they're just going to keep it completely fresh. But looking back on that now, I think what they meant was more of a character sense, in that we might be getting a Loomis, a Brackett, a Nurse Marion, all in these younger forms. Like, we're going to hear like little names here and there. We might get some Strodes that are involved in it. I'm not sure, you know, Lonnie, I've completely forgot Lonnie's last name, but like the Doyles, things like that, those little callbacks where we kind of start to create this whole new Halloween universe, and that could be what is going to make a new round of films that bit better, and also something very good, where I think when we're trying to latch on to the older films and the stories that have taken place there, I think the further we've gotten from the time those films were released, the harder it is to do that, like bringing back the different timelines that have already kind of happened. But let me know down in the comments below what you think. I'm personally really interested in this still. If we go down the Loomis route, I'm definitely going to at least hear out what they've made, you know. I'm not going to shut this down. But yeah, what do you guys think is going to come from the TV series? We are just going to have to see.